Hey, I don't know if you guys know, but Paulie and I turned 40 recently. So today we're going to talk about what surprised us about turning 40. I turned 40 recently. I feel like you turned 40 years ago.
I've been in this 40 level for a while now. I'm 41.
41. I'll be 41 later this year. You've also had kids for longer, which, I mean, kids...
I feel like I'm 60 right now.
We're going to keep this hard and fast. But what shifted for you, what shifted for you in that way in terms of your priorities? Not training related, but like life priorities.
Probably that stuff came on a little softer because I already had kids for some time, you know, so I've really been out of that phase of fucking boozing and just being a mad dog.
Kids, the kids shifted it for you.
Yeah, like a lot of that shift from, you know, just looking after yourself and thinking about, you know, yourself, it just kind of, shifted a while ago. So I guess when it came to 40, you're trying to, I know that I was like, you know, age and number doesn't matter, but when you get to an actual milestone,
it fucking matters.
It matters, especially if you've lived in the world, which has all of these views of things and you've been soaking that in as a citizen for so long, like it kind of, whether you like it or not, you kind of see it a little different. Wasn't negative for me. It was just like, more of just energizing my thoughts about the future. So turn the corner, it's like, okay, what's the next stretch going to look like? So it's just that one of those milestone times, a bit like New Year's, but maybe a little bigger, where you're like, oh, the end of an era, and you're like, oh, the new thing. Oh, what am I going to do now? How exciting!
Yeah, I totally. I guess it probably was more appropriately, having kids that really does shift the priorities, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, shifts it away from like, you just being selfish about what you want to do with your time to, and you know, not selfish in like a critical way, but just like thinking about yourself to, whatever, having to think about someone else. But I do feel like I've really enjoyed some of those shifts in terms of like, I feel like life has gotten smaller since kind of hitting 40 and having kids. Like, it kind of looked for me as sort of all around the same time, because it's just like centered around the home, centered around the family unit. Like, I really enjoy that. It simplifies things. Whereas I think back to when I was like really single. Really single.
I wasn't just single. I was like,
fucking
way single.
Yeah, bro. Like everybody knew about it.
Yeah.
But it's like you could do anything. You can, I mean, this is obviously very privileged, right? Not everyone can do, but you can go live overseas. You can fucking change jobs. Like you can do whatever. And it's almost a bit overwhelming to just have all of the options. You can go out every night and you can meet new people every night.
People are like, yeah. Sounds good, brah.
Yeah. I mean, great
relationship.
It's great, right? But it takes a toll, you know?
Yeah.
And so
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, I took it to the fucking limit, Paulie. But I do think that, you know, and maybe this isn't a universal thing for everyone, you know, who makes that transition, but there's something nice about the priorities becoming like less and just being like, okay, it's like family, work, make sure I go to bed on time. Off we go.
I know. So many girls to satisfy. I mean, fuck. Just the heartbeat of Sydney as well. Socialite. Like everyone fucking wants a piece.
Right, everyone's spewing now that I'm hitched. But I've really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
You know, and say personally, I've like taking up the guitar, which I've done. That's been a total like middle-aged thing for me.
That's so funny.
It's like, I'm going to learn to play the guitar.
I know.
I'm like, I never would have made time for that before. But now it's like, perfect. I can do it at home. I can inspire the children by me playing an instrument, being a beginner at something.
Because I only just got over the fact that you're a dad. Yeah. Some people we see like that we don't actually talk to, like at all. You'll catch up with them. I'm like, yeah, Joey's got a kid. They're like, no way. I never would have picked that. And that was like sometime after I was like, yeah, Joey's got a kid. Dadsky. And obviously now you're a dadsky and the great one and all that. But yeah, and then the guitar, and now it's like that all over again. Joey's learning the guitar. It's good.
Oh, mate. I mean, but it just, I found, obviously, I've fucking said it about 16 times already, there's something really nice about being like, oh, okay, cool. Like, here we are. Like, whatever. Those things that you kind of wanted to do when you were younger.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could sit down and practice or sit down and read a book.
Yeah.
You're like, well, maybe now you can create the space to do that.
Yeah, fuck. There's so much we can say about that. Like, it's the seasons in people's lives, and yeah, it does simplify things. There's just different kind of purpose around life, I think, when you get older, and probably when you're younger, you're not sure. You're trying to satisfy too many things and explore so many things because there is all those possibilities.
So many.
God.
So a big one that came to mind when I was thinking about this topic was I believe I've become better at setting boundaries now. Because you need them, because you need to have time for the family and for the home and stuff. And so if you don't set that, like when you're running a business, right, as a whatever small business owner, entrepreneur, there's kind of no boundaries. It's like just work takes precedence all the time. But if you want to be able to put time towards those other things, you have to draw those boundaries. Mm-hmm. What's your vibe on that? I mean, you've been running this place, not so much now, but last couple of years you've been in the trenches with it.
Yeah.
You got 3 kids at home, busy wife, all that stuff.
Yeah, like you can't do that without setting boundaries and saying no to things quite a lot. And, it's been a long, slow lesson for me. Like I'd say I came from pretty non-disciplined in many aspects of my life. And it's been, I've really learned a lot through the whole journey. But yeah, you absolutely have to. Going into 40s, probably what I think is that I spoke to you a bit about it with the uni thing, is I've probably spent a lot of my life reacting to things. So, for instance, I was in the business and, the function of it and the success of it meant that I had to do this, and this to kind of get there and enjoy it. And that, I guess, turning 40, I am starting to learn to say, hey, all those things that I learned while I was reacting to the life that was happening to me, now what do I want to do? And I think that's kind of a little bit where I'm at, where I'm like, I love 40. I love 30s. I've loved kind of all of the different stages. But, now I'm like, hey, so in thinking about where I'd like to go, how can I apply those things? Like I'm going to set boundaries now and work towards it, And that's an exciting thing.
Did you fuck that up much? Like in terms of being at the gym late, not seeing the family, not putting the kids to bed? Like did you experience a lot of that?
Yeah, for sure. Like you don't really realize it at the time. I was chatting to Dylan about it just this morning. For sure. Like it's never perfect, but it's a fine line. I was fucking listening to that Chris Hormozy.
I think it's
Williamson and Alex Hormoni podcast. And they were talking about how your calendar is a real predictor about where you're going to end up in the future because of how you spend your time. And the reverse kind of works as well. I was like thinking about, where did I spend my time? And what is difficult is, I look at my calendar and think about, where's my priority and is it my family? And then like, fuck, I spend so much time at work relative to home. And anyway, it's a bit of a balance really because there's the spending of the time, but then I'm always big on like showing them what, the way.
Yeah.
So I could spend heaps of time telling them about hard work, ethic, and all the other stuff, but I need to balance it up with fucking showing them how it's done.
They got to see this grind set in action.
Hell yeah. So
yeah, that's right. And of course, you can't separate that discussion from the whole needing to make money to support the family piece.
Yep.
That's a thing. Tell me in brief, what about training? What has anything changed with your training?
Defo
through this time.
Defo. Recovery time.
Actually?
Yes.
Yep.
And I don't think that the training just doesn't exist in isolation because training comes with the recovery piece and then just the growing stresses. More things happen to you in life as you get older. You tend to take, I don't know, well, I have anyway, like there's just more weight on your shoulders with, say, business decisions and family decisions and houses and that sort of stuff.
More like neural load.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, raising kids and morals and ethics and consistency, all that stuff. So really it's just like with the training, I had to flip the script and basically I kind of train to the level that I've recovered or to the level that I can train at, as opposed to when you're younger, it's like train fucking hard and you've just got enough, you got all the time in the world to recover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We almost don't even think about it, do you? You just train.
Yep. Yeah.
Whereas now you kind of forced to consider that.
Yep. Yeah. So I really have to be mindful of when I pull the trigger on certain aspects of training and stuff like that. And then, yeah, just the recovery time and, you know, just niggles, they just kind of compound, little niggles over 41 years.
Yeah, you've been using that shit for a while now.
Yeah, like it all comes together and you just got to consider all those things. So in many ways can't go as hard as you used to.
I definitely can't. I definitely think more about how does this apply? Like what sort of position does this put me in, say in my 50s and 60s?
Exactly.
Which you never thought about that, eh? Like
nah.
Whereas you're like, oh, is this, like what? Because you can feel it. Like you can feel it's almost like sand slipping through your fingers in a way. You're like, holy shit, if I don't do a good job of preserving this, it's not going to be available to me, and it's only going to get further away.
That's right. Whereas back when you were young, the goal that you set for it is like the biggest, shiniest, most awesome fucking skill and stuff, and it's kind of like the sky's the limit. And now you're thinking, well, what pathway do I want to set myself up for the next 10 years? And that becomes more of a considered decision. So I'm going to basically be in the Olympics in 2045 because I'm going to start breakdancing tomorrow.
Bam, son, I heard you were breaking this morning.
I was, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Crystal got basically revitalized from the whole ray gun thing at the Olympics.
Oh.
Yeah, so Crystal, who's a B-girl from back in the day.
Well, I didn't know. She told me last week. I'm like,
you never knew?
You know this was your thing. Yeah.
So she's been here for 2 years. I've been trying to get her to dance a bit and she just won't. And that's a longer story. She kind of like...
She unleashed a little bit?
She packed that down for some time, like as a part of her life.
Yeah.
Anyway, since the Olympics, she's on fire and we've been talking about it. And now like we're going to start doing windmills again.
Oh, wow.
Or practicing and just doing little sessions on Thursday.
Ah, sick.
Yeah.
Damn, maybe I'll join your crew at some point.
Oh, yeah. What's your name going to be?
Fuck, I don't know.
Name, bro?
I don't know.
Ray Bun.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see what my kind of signature move becomes and then base it off that. All right, sick. There it is. See you on the next one.
See you, bro.